Amid the relentless hum of city life, Lahore has always been accustomed to its summer downpours. But one night, during the fiercest thunderstorm the city had ever seen, something terrifying happened that no one would ever forget. The storm began like any other. Dark clouds rolled in, casting eerie shadows over the bustling streets. Thunder roared, shaking the very ground beneath the city, while lightning crackled across the sky, illuminating the night with unnatural flashes of brilliance. In a small, run-down apartment, a young artist named Ali was working late. His room, filled with sketches and paints, was a sanctuary from the world outside. The storm outside had grown more violent, the wind howling as though trying to break through the very walls of his haven. Ali had always found inspiration in storms. Their chaos and intensity spoke to his artistic soul, driving him to create vivid masterpieces. But this night felt different, ominous. As the storm reached its peak, a sudden, bone-chilling silence fell over the city. The only sound was the quiet dripping of water from a leak in his roof. Suddenly, a blinding flash of lightning struck just outside his window, followed by a deafening boom of thunder that seemed to split the air itself. In that split second, Ali saw a dark, shadowy figure standing in the middle of his room, its eyes glowing with an unnatural light. Frozen with fear, Ali couldn't move. The figure, shrouded in darkness, began to approach him. Each step it took was accompanied by a soundless whisper, a haunting melody that seemed to echo in his mind. As it drew closer, Ali could feel the temperature drop, his breath becoming visible in the icy air. Desperate to escape, Ali grabbed the nearest object, a paintbrush, and flung it at the figure. It passed through the shadow without resistance, clattering to the floor. The figure paused, as if considering its next move, then lunged at him with impossible speed. In a blind panic, Ali dashed out of his apartment, stumbling down the stairs and into the storm-ravaged streets. He could hear the whispers growing louder, following him as he ran. Rain battered his face, and the wind tore at his clothes, but he didn't dare look back. Finally, he reached the safety of a nearby mosque, its ancient walls offering a sense of solace and protection. Panting and drenched, he looked back at his apartment. There was no sign of the shadowy figure, but the whispers still echoed faintly in his mind. From that night on, Ali's art took on a darker, more haunting quality. The figure appeared in every piece he created, its shadowy form and glowing eyes a constant reminder of the terror he had experienced. Though he never saw the figure again, he knew it was always watching, waiting for the next storm to return. But the story doesn't end there. One evening, Ali decided to investigate the origins of the shadowy figure. He reached out to old friends and researched local folklore, hoping to find answers. To his shock, he discovered that his apartment building had a dark history. Decades ago, it had been the site of a brutal murder during a thunderstorm. The victim's spirit, filled with rage and sorrow, was said to haunt the place, appearing during violent storms. Determined to confront the spirit, Ali prepared himself. He gathered holy texts, prayers, and talismans, and waited for the next storm. When the first drops of rain began to fall, he felt a familiar sense of dread. Lightning flashed and thunder roared, and he knew it was time. As the storm intensified, the shadowy figure appeared once more. But this time, Ali was ready. He recited prayers and brandished his talismans, confronting the spirit with unwavering resolve. The figure's whispers grew louder, the room colder, but Ali stood his ground. In a final burst of courage, Ali shouted, "Leave me in peace!" The figure halted, its eyes flickering with a strange light. Slowly it began to dissolve, the darkness lifting like a heavy fog. The room warmed and the whispers faded, leaving only the sound of the storm outside. Exhausted but victorious, Ali collapsed onto his bed. He knew the spirit had been vanquished, its torment finally ended. From that night on, he never saw the shadowy figure again. The storms continued, but they no longer held the same terror. Ali's art flourished, filled with vibrant colors and light, a testament to his triumph over the darkness.